Hello, everyone. The topic which I'm going to discuss in this video is about the types of interview. Now, when you apply for any particular job, there will be different ways in which your employer might take your interviews, and you should be prepared for it. So some of the employer will definitely say you as what will be the type of interview they are going to take, and some of them they'll not inform you about anything. Okay, straight away when you go for the interview, that moment itself you come to know as what type of interview it will be. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you all as which are the different types of interviews which usually is taken when you apply for a job. Now, before knowing as what are the different types of interview, okay. Now I'll just discuss with you all what is the importance of knowing the interview type, right? So the first thing is it helps in a better preparation. Now, when you know what type of interview is going to happen, you can prepare yourself for that, and you can keep yourself ready with what sort of question can be asked on that interview. Second thing is obviously when you are prepared, it will help you to reduce your anxiety, and whatever stress which you have, it will be reduced from that. Next thing is it will help you to improve the response. Okay, whatever response which you are supposed to give, you are prepared. When you're prepared for it, the response given by you would be good. Okay, the next thing is it allows effective time management. Now when you know that what are the different interviews which are going to happen, you can schedule or you can plan things in advance, how you're going to explain about yourself or about your achievements or whatever the question which will be asked. Next thing is it helps in choosing the right communication approach. Obviously, when you know the interview type, how you're supposed to respond, how you're supposed to communicate, even that thing you know it well in advance. So that when you're there in the interview, giving your interview, okay, you don't have much confusions. Next thing is it prepares you uh, for giving the interview. Okay, you are prepared well in advance, and it will enhance your adaptability. When you know that after one round you have the next round, what is the next round, you know well in advance, you know it very well as where you need to switch, where you need to give your 100%. Okay, I agree that when you apply for a job you have to give your 100%, but there are certain places where you need not showcase all your talent, all your achievements. So you can plan well in advance, and you can adapt yourself based on the situation. And here there is a maximum chance of your success when you know what is the interview type. Talking about how different formats are there, what are the different formats where the candidates are assessed. First one is a traditional one-on-one interview. Here, you'll be called for an interview, and your employer or the HR, whoever is supposed to take the interview, they'll be sitting right in front of you, and they'll be asking questions. Okay, common question usually they'll be asking about relating to the job or your SWOT analysis or your experiences you're going to share there. And here the one-on-one interview which is there, that usually will be kept in order to see your communication skill and whether your personality fit for that job. Okay, whether you know what is the job you're applying for, how is your communication skill, and what is your personality, whether it fits the, whether your personality is right for the job which you have applied for. The second one which is there, that's about the panel interview. Here you will be having a panel member. I mean, you'll be having more than 2 or 3 members taking your interview. The main purpose of having such interview is to check if you're able to handle the pressure, interact with multiple people, and give a right answer. Okay, when you have multiple questions coming up, how do you react to it, how do you respond to it, that is being checked. Usually such panel interview we will have at the end of for the last round, or maybe you'll be having panel interview where 3 or 4 members will be sitting and asking questions. So whose question you give more the importance, and where you answer, even that is checked in the panel interview. Next comes behavioral interview. Here, the focus is more about your past experience. And in case any situation is given, any challenge is given to you, how do you face it? What is the solution which you give for that particular situation? That is being assessed over here. Okay, they'll ask that in your previous workplace, what are the challenges which you faced, and how did you manage it? Okay, that is a thing which they'll be asking in behavioral interview. So they'll be focused more about your past experiences and how you're going to handle the situation. Next one which is there, that is the technical interview. Technical interview will be usually the last round of any interview. Here they'll be focused more about the job, whether you have the industry knowledge in the sense whichever job you have applied for. Okay, how are the other companies working in that particular organization type? Okay, or whatever the job description is given, whether you know about it, whether you know whatever the skills which are needed for that job, that is being checked in the technical interview. Please note, whatever the different types of interview I'm talking about need not be that all will be there in your interview. Okay, any one might be adopted, any two might be adopted, or 3 or 4, not all. Okay, so these are the 4 technical interview, and adding on to the next one, that is the case interview. Here a case study will be given to you. You'll be asked to analyze and give a situation. For that situation you will have to give a solution. Okay, this type of interview is actually done in order to check your analytical thinking, your analysis, and how quick you are in taking decision, and also sound decision. Okay, whatever decision you take, whether it is actually can be used by the business or not, even that is being assessed over here in the case study interview. Next comes group interview. In group interview, what happens is like you, several other candidates will be called, and maybe one employer or many employer will be sitting in front of you, and randomly they'll be asking question. I mean, they'll not ask a question to a particular person. Instead, they'll just generally they'll ask question, and whoever is there, the candidates, so those who are there, they are supposed to answer. So usually the one who is first to answer might be selected. The one who gives a sound decision or a sound solution might be selected, or someone who concludes everything also might be selected. So this group interview, along with you, other candidates will also be there. In a group, how you communicate, how do you take up the leadership, how do you take initiatives, that is being checked in case of group interview. Next comes the phone interview. Okay, video interview. Now, because these days more of work from home jobs are preferred, and people are actually applying for jobs just because that option, and for that reason interviews are taken through phone calls or through videos. Okay, different apps are there wherein video calling is done, and through that the interview will be taken. Usually the employer will join online, and the candidates, you are supposed to join online and provide all their details well in advance, and the interview will go on just with the communication. But here, remember, even this type of interview will happen when the employer is staying far away, and it's not possible for the candidates to reach that particular place, and maybe the employer wants to reduce the cost also, because if you call for an interview you will have several expenses over there. So maybe for that also they want to reduce the cost. Okay, so these are the this is about the video interview. And the last one, stress interview. You might have seen in different fest or any competitions where stress interview was taken. A number of questions and like a lot of stress is given, how you're able to manage that, and in that situation how do you think, and what are the answers, or responses you give, that is being assessed, even in a stressful situation, whether you are able to manage everything or not. So this is about the different formats to assess a candidate. So these are the different common types of interview, which I already discussed with you all. Now, depending on, like, in case you know well in advance which is the type of interview, like majority of the interviews which are there, they will say well in advance as what will be the rounds, and how, based on this information, you can prepare yourself. Okay. Now, talking about the first one, that is traditional one-on-one interview. When you know that you have to personally go there and give your interview, you have to face your employer right sitting in front of you. They are going to assess your communication skill, how you present yourself, how you answer, everything. So what you have to prepare is, first thing is you need to search the information about the company. That's the most important thing which you're supposed to do. Try to find out the information about the company, when it started, how many branches they have, what is the role, and if possible, try to get some information about the officials, your boss, those who are there in that particular organization. About them, try to find out some information and keep yourself ready, so that the interviewer or the employer knows well in advance that you're interested and you have searched for the possible information about that organization. Next thing is practice a common interview question, like something, tell me about yourself. Okay, many a times you end up saying your name, your college, okay, and maybe if you have something called as any certificates, you just narrate that. Instead, you just say your name and say about your skills which you have. Maybe it is mentioned in the resume, or even if it is not, just use a star method. About the star method, I also explained you before. You have to give a situation in just one sentence, that you had an event, interclass competition going on, and you were the student coordinator. These were the tasks which was assigned to you, and this is how, what are the actions you had taken, and the result you can speak. Okay, so you can explain about this in a structured way. Okay, not saying result first then saying the situation. No, you say the situation, what was the task assigned to you, what was the action taken by you, and what was the outcome. Okay, so a common question, tell me about yourself, keep yourself ready. Apart from what is there in your resume, please note, whatever is there in your resume, apart from that, keep yourself ready. As I said, star method, explain any about situation, explain about your skills which you have. Even though you have mentioned, you can speak more about the skills which is there, just mention. Okay, and you can even say that about the internships or any projects which you have completed. How did you overcome any challenges which you have faced while completing these tasks, also you can explain. And as far as possible, please dress up professionally. Whatever the job description is, dress yourself well and have that confidence in you. Seeing your confidence itself, sometimes you get a job. Like many a time, your answer might not be right, but the confidence and the body language, because of that, you get selected. So maintain that confidence and that body language when you go for a traditional one-on-one interview. Next comes a panel interview. In case of panel interview, there will be panel members that as I mentioned earlier in this video. Many members from that company will be sitting and they'll be asking you multiple questions. Your work will be to listen to that question and keep the order in mind. Like, who was the first person who asked you the question? Who was the next one? Keep that order in mind. And once you get all the question, then one by one you have to answer the question. Don't mix up everything and give one answer. No, because different people have asked you different questions. Remember that sequence and answer individually, but please make an eye contact when you're speaking to them. And whatever the question is asked, limit yourself with only few words. Okay, try to give a quick answer for each member. You won't be given 1 hour time to explain everyone. Okay, just few minutes, give it to everyone and answer everyone's question. And keep yourself calm. I agree that when multiple people are sitting in front of you and asking question, sometimes it is very stressful. but still that is a moment where they are going to check when they are given a multiple task and multiple people are asking you question whether you are there available or whether you are possible for whether it's possible for you to manage that situation or not. That's about the panel interview. Next thing is about the behavioral interview. Here they are going to check how you're going to work or give a response for one particular situation. Okay, so here what you're supposed to do is keep yourself ready with an example about your past work. Past work doesn't mean that you must have worked somewhere. Okay, your experience in the college also matters, or somewhere outside. If you have managed any event, you can explain that in your STAR method. Okay, and also you focus more about your leadership and adaptability and how did you resolve a conflict, but try to see that you're being very honest and give a specific response. If a question is asked, get your solution or answer for that. And um, usually in a behavioral interview, they'll usually ask about what was the most difficult situation which you have faced and how did you handle it. So keep yourself ready if you come to know that you are going to have a behavioral interview. So talking about the few more interviews, types of interviews, I'll be discussing that in the next video. Thank you.